and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new video. How are we all doing today? As you can tell by the title of the video, guys, I've got a deep and meaningful confession to make to you people. Are you ready? Are you sat down? Are you strapped in? Here it is. Yep, that's right, guys. I love NASCAR. I love NASCAR so much. I've gone and bought NASCAR Heat 5. It's finally here on our screens, and what I'm going to be doing today, guys, is I'm going to be taking you through what NASCAR Heat 5 is all about, what I like about it, what I dislike about it, what's new, and I'll give you my verdict on NASCAR Heat 5, which is the 5th iteration game from 704 Games. I'm going to go out on a limb here. NASCAR is better than F1.
Say what?
That's right, I said it. NASCAR is better than F1, guys. NASCAR entertainment value, lap by lap, is better than F1. Don't even at me in the comments or on social media, okay? Don't boo me. And before you click off the video, I'm going to explain why by playing NASCAR Heat 5. Let's jump into a race. We're going to quick race here on NASCAR Heat 5, and I'm thinking we're going to go for the Cup Series. You've got 3 series in NASCAR: the Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, and the Truck Series. There's also an Extreme Dirt Tour, which is a non-sanctioned NASCAR series. It's a fictional series, I believe, on NASCAR Heat 5. So let's jump into the Cup Series. We're going to go for the 13 car of Ty Dillon. I've got a soft spot for the 13 car and Ty Dillon, and let's choose our track. Now, before you guys who are F1 fans just go, oh, NASCAR, just drive around in circles, how boring is that? No, okay, no. Look at this, we've got Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, there's right-hand turns. Charlotte Roval, there's right-hand turns. And if we go all the way down, we'll also find Mid-Ohio. Oh look, right-hand turns, as well as a couple of other tracks which are called road courses in NASCAR, which feature right-hand turns, guys. So don't say NASCAR drivers can only drive in circles, okay? But we're going to go drive on a circle. More a tri-oval, I suppose. Las Vegas Motor Speedway, the South Point 400. We're just going to jump straight into a race, starting at the back. So what's NASCAR Heat 5 all about? Well, as I said, it's the 5th iteration in the NASCAR Heat franchise, developed by 704 Games, and it's come about 10 months after NASCAR Heat 4 came out. Excuse me whilst I grab a quick, refreshing drink of water. Got to stay hydrated for these races, guys. NASCAR Heat 4 was the game, the predecessor to NASCAR Heat 5, and it was the first NASCAR game I bought in about 10 years. NASCAR 09, developed by EA Sports, I think was the last NASCAR game I bought, and I really enjoyed NASCAR Heat 4. I raced championships, a career mode, which is great and in-depth, and I also joined a racing league online. There's online multiplayer racing leagues organised by drivers, and we compete. I compete in the Stampede Racing League, which takes place every Sunday. I currently race in the Truck Series. That's my main series, in addition to racing in the SRL Championship. So we're just going to skip the sessions here and get ready to race as the sun's going down here at Las Vegas. And for me, NASCAR Heat 4 was a great game to be introduced into NASCAR because it's completely customizable, just like NASCAR Heat 5, which brings me on to what I like about NASCAR Heat 5, and that is it is fully customizable, just like NASCAR Heat 4. All the settings, your own personal settings, the AI settings, anything, the difficulty, the tyre wear, the fuel consumption, the number of laps, anything like that is fully customizable. And I think if you're a casual player, it's a great game to play if you're interested in NASCAR, or if you're also a expert driver and you really enjoy racing games. And I think this is also a great game to give yourself a challenge on. So we're going to start here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Matt Kenseth isn't as fast as he'd like to be. They're fighting
all weekend to get a good car. Kurt Busch qualified first, and Matt DiBenedetto crashed and will be starting at the back. He's also another driver I've got a soft spot for, actually. The 21, the Wood Brothers car. As we're about to go green here, off we go, racing at Las Vegas. We're going to take Ty Dillon all the way to the front, I hope. So we're talking about fully customizable, guys. I've got this race on 25% length. Tyre wear and fuel wear also on ×2, so they'll wear out twice as quickly as they normally would under normal racing conditions. Speaking of racing conditions, brings me on to another point that I enjoy about NASCAR Heat 5. I've played a few races now, and that's the physics. So the physics in NASCAR Heat 4 were wildly praised, to be honest, as the best NASCAR game you can get physics-wise, other than racing on iRacing. If you don't know what iRacing is, Google it, and you'll soon find out why it's at the pinnacle of online motor racing. And the physics in NASCAR Heat 5 haven't deviated a lot from NASCAR Heat 4. So the cars feel a little bit more settled, have a little bit more weight to them, they feel a little bit more stable in the draft and through the corners. And I feel that the cars respond slightly quicker to your inputs as well. That's kind of what I'm getting. And I race on a controller, not on a steering wheel. Whether it's different on a steering wheel, let me know in the comments below, guys. But yeah, that's my general feeling on the physics. I think 704 games have done a great job focusing on the physics, delivering us a great game which is fun to race on with realistic physics, which you need, particularly in a racing game. Speaking of racing, we're racing pretty hard here, up to 21st already after 3 laps in stage 1. The Cup Series is competed over stages, so you've got stage 1, 2, and then the final stage where the winner is crowned. And hopefully we can take the 13 to first place here in this stage. Speaking of racing then, the AI is another thing that I thoroughly enjoy about NASCAR Heat 5, and it was the same case on NASCAR Heat 4. The AI are completely customizable on regards to difficulty, and they're actually modelled after how the drivers in real life actually race. So we're coming up on Brad Keselowski here, and Brad tends to be a pretty consistent driver. He's very capable, can run multiple lines, and he is a champion after all, and he races like a champion, and that reflects on the gameplay. Very confident driving. Now that's not to say that all the drivers will drive like they do in real life, but 704 really tried to study how the drivers compete and try to reflect that in the AI movements and racing in the game. And with that AI being completely customizable, you can make them as difficult or as easy to pass as you like, as we easily go past the number 11 of Danny Hamlin. As we're up to 10th place now, 6 laps gone, guys. We're storming to the front. One other thing I need to mention as well, in regards to what I like about NASCAR Heat 5, is the graphics. I mean, the graphics really are probably the best you can get out of this engine that they used to design the game and run the game. As we scrape the wall, talking of physics. Oh, the physics are real, and we've slowed right up, and the graphics, a little bit of damage on the side of the car, I feel. Certainly some damage on the wall. That wall did not taste good. But yeah, the physics, the cars look really, really good in their various paint schemes. The surroundings, I mean, we've got the fans, the sunset, the mountains in the background, pit road all lit up. It looks fantastic. Honestly, I can't wait for NASCAR Heat 6 to come out on the next gen consoles with a new engine. It's going to look incredible, incredible, guys. So lap 8 of 19 now. We're almost halfway through the stage. So let's turn to things that I'm not a big fan of about NASCAR Heat 5, and frankly, majority of things I will mention here that the developers can fix. So the first one is bugs. Now, the game has been released for about a week now. It's been on sale, and there are bugs everywhere. Like, I'm talking the game crashing on pit road, the wheel colours not reflecting that of which you put on your car when you are designing your car in the paint booth, which we'll come to in a minute, and various other bugs, including online multiplayer, where lobbies will simply just crash out. But let's be completely honest here, guys. When a company releases a new game, when is it ever truly finished? Like, you think of FIFA 20, or even back in the day of GTA 5, the games weren't 100% finished, and they just released patches to fix everything that wasn't right. And 704 have already started doing that, so the online multiplayer has been fixed now, and it's fully ready to go, which I'm grateful to hear, because I'm part of a fantastic organised racing league called the SRL, the Stampede Racing League. We race every Sunday, just after the official NASCAR Cup Series race. At the moment it's being delayed a lot because of the rain, but there we go, that's the weather in America this time of the year for you. And that is also one thing I'd like to highlight quickly before we turn back to what I dislike about this game, is the online support and the organised leagues. The community is fantastic, and what's also really good is that 704 Games listened to the community, and when they went back to design NASCAR Heat 5, they listened to the community and they brought us additions which would keep the people happy. Not purely trying to rely on microtransactions or anything like that, just trying to develop a great game, listen to the community, so we'd go out and buy the product. So online multiplayer, that community is fantastic. As we get a caution here, with a few laps to go, Kurt Busch is the leader. We're coming up on him pretty quickly. We're not going to pit. As you can see, if we do decide to pit, there are a lot of customization options in regards to our setup, but we're not going to pit because we're at the end of the stage almost. So the SRL League, like I mentioned, the community is fantastic. The developers have a great communication via social media with their fan base and the people who buy these games. So, speaking of the developers, what did they bring us to NASCAR Heat 5? Well, they brought us a stat tracker. So, in championships, career mode, you can track your stats across the board, which is really good. So you can really get in depth. And it also helps you to look at what tracks you might need to improve at, what tracks you're really good at. And for me, I'd probably use that information to relay that to online gameplay, because I can look at a track and say, well, I need to improve there, so why don't we jump into the latest thing that 704 Games brought us to NASCAR Heat 5, and that is test mode. So if you wanted to test your car's setup, primarily this is aimed at online players, I believe. You'd have to go into a quick race at that track. Wow, we just blitzed past Kurt Busch there, taking the number 1 spot away from the number 1 car. Yeah, you'd have to jump on to a quick race and qualify or test your car amongst AI cars, and it was a bit frustrating, to be honest. So the test mode, you can run at a track completely on your own, like we are right now, up at the front all on our own as our car gets a little bit loose. Yeah, and run laps and tweak your setup to how you want it. And I think that's a great little addition, particularly for racing in an online league, which allows customization setups. Or if you're only allowed presets, you can still play around with the options as we saw on pit road, where you can change wedge, which essentially adjusts if your car's tight or loose, so understeer or oversteer for my European friends. And you can change your tyre pressures and your grill tape, everything like that. So test mode is a great addition. And the paint booth as well is slightly different. There's 1 or 2 different options you can choose from, whether that's font lettering, for the numbers, the colour, 1 or 2 different paint schemes, and that's about it really. We're still waiting on a fully fledged paint booth. We're hoping to get that on NASCAR Heat 6, but what we have for now will do. And let's not forget, this game was built in just 9 months, guys. It didn't really take them a long time to flesh this game out, and that shows, hence why I haven't had a lot of additions. But as I alluded to earlier, NASCAR Heat 6 will be on the next gen consoles and will have a new game engine. So I get the impression 704 released this game just as a filler game, just so that they could make money in a good way, in order to spend more time researching and developing for the next gen console and the new engine in order to put together a pretty decent NASCAR Heat 6. We're coming up to the end of the stage here, guys, and also the end of the video, actually. I was hoping this video wouldn't run too long. I hope I could get all my points across, which I feel like I've done. So comment down below, what are your favourite aspects of NASCAR Heat 5 and what do you feel they could improve? Of course, don't forget to hit that like button. Honestly, if you guys like the video, it shows that I'm doing something good, and I'll keep bringing out content on NASCAR Heat 5. And subscribe. Come on, guys, subscribe to me. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I'm on 62, which has been a fantastic jump since I jumped back onto YouTube as a more part-time hobby, as we finish in first place in the end of stage 1. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. As I said, hit that like button and subscribe for more. And my overall verdict on NASCAR Heat 5 is it's a good game. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. The patches will improve the game. The game drives well, it looks great, and the online community is fantastic. So until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching the video. This has been your man, AbsoluteAzza, and I will see you on the track next time.